first guest tonight is a talented actress who you know from her work in films like Hot Rod, Definitely Maybe, and Wedding Crashers. She stars in Now You See Me and Now You Don't, which is in theaters November 14th. Let's take a look.
Pretty good, but you should try to do things a little more slow.
Really?
Let your audience enjoy the real magic.
Okay, not bad.
Wow, nice one, Boy Scout.
I've never been great at poker, but is a diamond trumped by a heart?
Oh, there it is. Nice misdirection. But let's not forget what this is really about.
Sean, try.
Making a jewel disappear.
Please welcome back to the show our friend Isla Fisher, everybody. Welcome back, Isla. How are you?
I'm good. I love that I always get like so dressed up and have like 2 hours of hair and makeup, and you look like
I know. I gotta remember. It's like you were on your way to an event, and
Yeah.
then the school called.
Yeah.
And you had to come
second
here.
Page of Tinder.
Next time, I'm gonna really dress it up for you. I apologize.
Thank you. I hear you wear a blazer sometimes.
I do sometimes, yeah. I'm a pretty cool dude. How would you describe your high fashion? Oh, sometimes I do a blazer. By the way, so this is obviously this is not your first Now You See Me movie, but you weren't in the last one. It's very exciting to have you back. But is it true that your dad actually thought that you might be a magician, or he thought that would be a good path for you?
Guys, don't laugh. Yes.
But like, what was it about you that he was like, I got it, magician?
No, he was always into magic tricks. So
Okay,
he'd
gotcha.
like pull a coin out, and he actually was missing like half his pinky finger.
Okay.
And he used to have all these imaginative excuses, like it got bitten off by a rodent, or stuck up his nose, or like damaged in a motorbike accident. And it was always this really big mystery.
Did he ever tell anybody with the real way he lost it?
And actually, we lost my father recently, and my brothers and I still had differing ideas, or had been told different excuses for where. I mean, the finger's probably in a box somewhere, but we never will know.
I mean, I will say, obviously, it's like very sad that your father passed. It's very funny if his like last thing was like, I'm going to make sure everybody has a different story.
Yeah, that's effectively what he did.
Yeah, really nicely done. I mean, it's like your one last great trick. It's great to have you in New York City, but you
Yes.
You just relocated to London. How are you settling in?
I'm into it. It's
Okay, good.
Yeah, my brother's actually just moved here.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and our relationship, my relationship with my brother is he used to like roll me in a rug when I was little, and the dog used to lick my mouth.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so
the
we
rug
have-
was bad enough, but then would he bring the dog in?
Yeah, he'd call
Okay.
the dog, and then I'd be unable to move, and the dog would be inside.
What's
anyway,
the age difference for that sort of
he's
terrorism?
He's 3 years older.
Yeah,
than me.
that's enough to be that mean.
Anyway, so we've now got kids, and we're kind of like sophisticated, and so he bought us bikes, matching bikes, and we go off on these kind of, bike rides. But like within like a minute, it devolves to like me pulling the chain off his bike, like him trying to push me off I mean, it's pretty.
Does this happen in front of your children, or you and your?
No, we
Okay.
wave off like we're very mature.
cool.
We take our English sheepdog. It's England. People are wearing Wellington boots.
Okay,
and
gotcha.
top of the morning, and then we like Aussie bogans right away, like just wrestling.
Oh my God! So you guys are like a Mad Max. You're like a scene
Yeah.
from Mad Max. So these
Yeah.
two Australians are going by just shoving each other off bikes. They must be so happy to have you in the neighborhood.
Now you know how he lost his finger.
This is a heist movie
Yes.
as well, and that's one of
Yes.
the great things about this series. You play an escape artist.
Correct.
And there's a long scene where you're in a tank of water.
Correct.
This is a practical tank of water. This is not
It
CGI
is,
water.
and it starts with sand. The sand like encroaches on us, and then the water fills up until
Yep.
we're like right at the top of the tank. And there's 4 of us. There's Woody Harrelson, Dave Franco, Jesse Eisenberg, and myself.
I mean, fantastic people. If you had to be stuck in a tank, not a bad group.
Not a bad group, but I will say this: we shot this over a week, and the ADs, they're so kind to they come in. Do you need a water break? Do you need any? And everyone would go. Do you need to go to the bathroom?
Right, of course.
So and we, Woody drinks a lot of. We're all drinking, so we're in and out of the tank. But by around day 2, day 3, Woody just stops asking. He just stops asking.
So he doesn't go
He doesn't go, and everybody's kind of looking like, is the tank getting warmer? Woody's like, guys, I would never. But we also had this Dave Franco. You guys know Dave Franco?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So Dave is very handsome.
Yeah, he is.
So, but Wet Dave is extremely handsome. Yeah. So like.
Oh, I wouldn't have thought.
Yeah. So Dave Franco is like what, an 8 out of 10?
Yeah.
Wet Dave is a 10.
Wow.
And there's just something about a man in water. So basically, even though we had Woody that was taking down the...
Yeah.
We can't prove it conclusively.
Yeah.
We had Wet Dave. And in water, men can't mansplain. And
Yeah.
we just stared at him the whole time, just going...
How do you feel? Have you ever like assessed how your attractive level goes up or down based on how wet your?
I know it goes down because
Yeah.
I was also wet in the tank and the
Yeah.
director was like, makeup! Makeup! And like my eyelash was stuck up here.
Yeah.
And they
I-
were like, put it in my mask. I've got I was born with ears too large for my face and body.
Okay.
In fact, my late father used to say, did you walk or fly to school? And so in the tank, my hair's obviously a few thousand hours have gone into this hair,
Yeah.
but normally it just like slicked down across my face. So.
Yeah, I will tell you, the bottom falls out for me as well when I'm wet.
No,
Yeah.
you'd be cute wet.
No, I'm telling you, you think that, and so do I, and then I
Wet
jump
him
in the
down,
pool.
guys. Wet him down.
All right, get the hose. Get the hose. It would be really funny if you had like done a full Ellen DeGeneres and like planned this prank where now I get fully.
And then you didn't look good, and everyone was like,
Oh, the whole wah, wah, wah. And then somehow I get sent home and you host the show. So how young were you when you started? You were a child actor, but like how young were you for your first job?
I was 10.
Okay.
When I did my first acting job. Yeah.
Okay, and was that the Australian soap opera, or was there something before?
No, I did like a bunch of I sort of started in TV and then I
Okay.
did like one soap opera and then a really kind of successful soap opera in Australia.
Gotcha. What was that? I've heard
It's
it.
called Home and Away.
Yes. Okay. So I think I've
Yeah.
definitely heard of that.
Yeah.
How was but it must have been like, obviously we know you as someone who's very funny on camera, but those shows are probably pretty straight and
Very
dramatic.
straight, very straight.
Yeah.
You're just like crying all the time and looking down, and it's hard. It's like I had my character had a lot of problems, and I used to make out with my brother in the show.
Okay. The character who was your brother?
Yes.
Oh, you had a lot of problems.
Yeah, I had a lot of problems.
All of a sudden, you were thinking, the brother you were mad at about the rug and the dog was a real prince.
Looking back.
Yeah, like that was really nice.
But we said all these crazy things. Like we'd say things like "get a dog up here," or like "rack off," or like "you're a dag" or a bogan, which you
Yeah.
probably didn't know, or like we
Dag, I met I had a
know
really
dag?
good Australian friend, and I learned daggy is like an adjective, and it's been very helpful through the years.
What if I were to say, "Let's pick up a slab and some avo and go to the Barbie"?
Slab and avo and go to the Barbie. I'm gonna guess it's like a steak and avocado, and we're gonna barbecue it.
So close. It's a slab of beer.
Oh, a slab of beer.
Correct.
Oh my God, you guys drink so much, you serve it in slabs?
Yes. Yes. That's how much we drink.
Oh my God,
we don't
that's
even feel
fantastic.
it.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so happy for you guys. All right, I have a last question because we're coming up on Halloween. Was that something that was a big part of your Australian upbringing?
No, but I mean, I could have just gone as a pumpkin and put on a green hat.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a ginger. I'm scary all year round. I don't need Halloween.
So when you came here for Halloween, did you enjoy like that when you realized how crazy Americans were
No,
about it?
I think it's really. First of all, I want to say before. Okay, when I was young, when I first arrived and I didn't have kids, I remember we went to a party and I didn't get the memo that you're supposed to dress like a whore.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And so I was a strawberry, and I had this like really cool like strawberry, and I was like, I'm pretty cool. And then I got there, and obviously there was like nurses
Yeah.
and cats and just a bikini, and I
Yeah.
was like, no one talked to me all night. And then I had kids, and then I would go like who seemed like normal like cool dad and moms like would invite me over Halloween, and then you go there. I don't know if you've had this with your kids, and there's like a corpse that's slung from a tree with like blood, really
Yeah,
realistic,
yeah.
and then like graveyards, and then like they're sickos.
Yeah. I've had to, when my kids were littler, like 5 and 3, we fully had to leave a daytime Halloween party.
Yeah.
Because they were both just melting down.
Yeah, because you're just traumatizing them under the guise of it being a holiday.
Yeah. But
guys,
like
what's wrong with you? Why
in
would
order
you
to
do
do that,
that?
you gotta wanna see it. And that means something's wrong with you.
Something's wrong with you. If
Yeah.
something is people that enjoy Halloween, I'm telling you, something is wrong with them.
I'm so glad you said that.
It's wrong.
Because you know the worst part about this month is we all have to pretend like we're so excited for it.
And no
oh my
one
God,
is.
no.
By the way, I don't care how much you like candy. I don't care how much you want type 2 diabetes.
Yeah.
No one needs to see a severed head.
Also, you know what the good news about candy is? You can get it the rest of the year at stores. Like, I'm gonna figure this out.
We did it.
So happy to have you back. You guys, this is the great Isla Fisher.